Roller.
Are you ready?
Mhm.
Okay, sorry, I thought you said hold on, you're good. So, just been following up that we're tracking on wigs, that they are on time to class, not missing days, not tardy. Depending on what that is for you. For me, that's being in my room. For some people, that's being seated, just tracking that we're doing that. And then, they should have came for that data yesterday. I know they did great.
Okay, can you tell me one more time what two things that we're tracking with wigs? We're just tracking one thing.
Just tracking their attendance.
Just tracking their attendance, not tardies. So I somehow made that up in my head, tardies.
We included the
Well-
attendance all as one is they're in class and they're not tardy. So I guess
Okay,
it's
so they're here on time, they're here
On
bell to
time,
bell.
every hour, every day.
Okay,
Tardies.
okay. Thank you, sorry, I was subbing a class yesterday and it was Jennifer's class and I was like, well, I think it's tardies and no, so I got that wrong, so just attendance. And so they're just marking like, yes, I was here yesterday.
Check, yes, X, no.
I was present all day and
Okay.
wasn't tardy to any class.
What's up?
Student-led conferences, we've got conferences coming up in like 3 weeks, so we need to start getting ready for those. STAR test, they're gonna go ahead and give it to everyone so that we have new data to put in their green portfolio. I'd like for us to, I'm gonna work on a script. I feel like last time, even though we practiced, they still kind of fumbled through it just a little bit, so I thought, well, let's just help them out even a little bit more and with kind of some script prompts, to keep them going, because they would kind of, or they'd get started, but then they would be like, well, now I don't know what to say, so, if anybody wants to help me out with that, if you observe some things and you thought, well, I wish they would just say, let me know, and we'll put those in those prompts, and we'll get them some prompts that we'll put in their folder. And then also, are there other things? Do you guys want to add some assignments? Do you want to add some projects to their portfolios?
I would like to add some handwriting examples in there of just how terrible
Yeah.
their writing is that we can't read. Or
Or
numbers that we
even
can't read, or.
I think they might track their math minute, and to see
Yeah,
that
I thought-
progress, maybe we want to put that in there.
Yeah, we can do that.
Anyway, if you've got some ideas of some things you'd like to, I'd like to add a little bit more to that. Last time was the first time we did it, the whole building, the first time we did the portfolio, and so it's time to make that a little bigger and better. I also noticed that, whenever the kids are in there with their parents, I know they're leading the conference, but we need to be in there too, and just be present and be ready to engage if they want us to engage, versus just in the hallway. So that's something, that we need to be sure and do as well. And also, I'm gonna figure out how to advertise a little bit more, so maybe we'll get more to come. Maybe you guys can think of some incentive to get their parents here, to get them and their parents here.
Can we get bonus points?
I mean, umpteen years ago we did,
Yeah.
but,
Or
Or
uh,
a free coupon
out
for,
outside time for the
Outside
advisory
time,
class
right.
that has everybody attend.
free snack, yeah. But yeah, it's something to get them here, get them and their parent here. I'd like to have a good turnout, it'd be nice,
is the book fair going on?
The book fair is going on that week, so that will be good. Also cheer tryouts are gonna be that week, and so those parents will be picking up their kids at 5, from practice, and so that will get them in the door hopefully, and so we've got a few other things going on that hopefully we'll get started, but still, it'd be nice to have just a really good number this spring. So if you've got any ideas, let me know, I'm open.
Susie Q.
Okay, several of you got this yesterday, and I just shared it with you in the email, so I'm just giving you a one-paper copy for table, just for reference. So you do have it in your email. So state testing is coming up. And so we would like to do a little testing, no, that state testing is, if they're not their state testing number, but we would like for them to take state testing a little more seriously, be a little more excited about it. They take their cues from you, so if you're like, oh, we have to do this, then they're gonna be the same. We are going to do a boot camp for math. We will have more of what that looks like, coming out, but that's gonna be on the 29th. We'll divide the grades up, we'll do half in the morning, half in the afternoon, we'll get more info to you later. But what we wanna do is like a kickoff, and so like on the 22nd, before all of the ELA does their, 8th grade does their ELA, we'll do like we'll put pancakes and maybe sausage, depending on if we can get some donations there. Thought about asking maybe the PTO if they would like to help or donate, or help us out there, and feed all the 8th graders pancakes that morning, and then take them into the gym and do a little rally session before they take their tests. And then on Thursday, before the 6th and 7th grade take their ELA, we'll do the same thing. We'll feed them and then take them into the gym and pump them up, and then take them to do their tests. I thought, Miss Norman, even if I might get your art class involved to do some, go test or rock that test, something like that. You're much more creative than I am, but we could, some posters to line the halls. So, but I did send this out to you. You will be doing again on Canvas the monitor and test administrator thing for before you can give the test. So that will be coming out. I'll be sending that out to you in an email. Yes.
Do you all only test in the mornings, or how does that,
Yes.
is it?
Yeah, we
like 2
test in the
sessions?
morning, and for the most part. Yeah. So
We'll not have some makeups in the end.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
that's, I believe, all I need to cover for now. But if you have questions, let me know. And just about everybody in the building will be testing, especially since we're down a special education teacher and a 7th grade teacher. So.
We have time to spare, so we're gonna open it up to questions, comments, concerns.
This is our 3rd year of Leader of Me. It's a 3-year program. There will be an option to renew. What do you all think? Do you feel like this is changing our culture and positive, and that we're learning things and they're getting things out of the lessons, and we want to continue this?
I don't think for what we're paying for it, I don't know if we've seen $30,000 worth of growth.
Everything costs that. There's nothing that doesn't cost that.
I don't know that the kids are buying into it as much as what we thought, and we've had, the 6th graders have been doing it, these 7th graders have done it at the elementary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did the 8th graders that are 8th graders now, did they have 1 year of it?
Not at the elementary.
Not at the
They've
elementary.
only had it here in this building.
Okay.
Yeah. But they've had it all 3 years we've done it here.
We have had some good conversations in classes.
Mhm.
Or it really just depends, like sometimes the kids aren't moose things, kids are.
But I feel like we could still have those conversations without having the leader in me. I feel like we've done it for 3 years, we could kind of, we could model lessons, and we could kind of continue to do sort of the same thing without the title of leader in me.
So who's gonna
on
make
top
those
of it.
lessons?
Yeah.
A
I'm
lot of
tapped
them have
out.
already been made, right?
They're linked to
No.
the
They're
website.
linked to the website. we'll lose those lessons.
Oh, okay, I thought they were remade.
No.
This year's are linked to the website. The first year we made lessons, they were not.
So are those lessons still available?
It's a good question. Somewhere.
I think they are, but those were also flawed. The first year we did it with those lessons, the first 2 years we did it with those lessons, going through those, the feedback we got was like, these aren't easy to understand, these aren't
And we
easy
paid
to,
for that.
well,
Right.
but we
No,
made them.
Liz made
No.
those.
Oh, I thought that was part of the leader in me,
Yeah.
the slides.
Well, I mean, no,
Well,
she
Liz and
made those.
We made them
Yeah.
off the Leader and Me.
Yeah, because
Websites.
the Leader and Me came as workbooks and their
Right.
websites, and we built it off of PDF documents into slides. And so I took and jazzed up what was done.
Coming from outside, coming in to the school and kind of seeing the culture, I don't know if it's because this is just a great community or, the parents are doing a good job, y'all are doing a good job. But I think it does affect positive, it gives them something to reach for. It may not affect them right now, but I think 3 years of this kind of character building and goal setting is good for kids. And I think it makes a difference in the culture, because I came from total chaos, and I just think that it really does, even though it might be small, from the inside, you're seeing little small incremental, but from the outside coming in, I think it's a fantastic impact. Just what I see in how kids behave and how they relate to their peers, and, and just having some good goals for themselves, so.
It's nice to get an outside perspective sometimes.
It's hard to see when you see them every day.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't know, are you doing this because the leader meeting, or are you doing this because you're maturing and it's our culture type thing?
Well, and it should be both, right?
Yeah.
Because one should feed into the other.
Right.
Mhm.
And what if they are doing it because of Leader and Me stuff, at least we're exposing them to it. And it's hopefully somewhere sticking.
Planting that seed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What would we do instead?
Well, again, any programs
Right,
that
and that's
cost us
what
money.
I'm asking, would we just go and like do our own thing where we didn't have to spend money, or would we?
Which I don't think we should do that.
I'm
Number
just-
one,
yeah,
it's
I'm
in the
for
budget
it.
now.
Yeah,
Like, it's in the budget. Like, he's already prepared to spend that money. So I don't think we should just not do it, because then once we do wanna do a program, it'll be harder to say, okay, now can you spend $30,000 again when you have it? And then two, I mean, why make it harder on ourselves to make up a program and do all the work when there's one ready for us?
And we're just now learning to speak the language, use those terms. I mean, it takes time to build a culture.
so that I would more,
I
my
agree with
question
that.
is more of, why would we not do it if we
Right.
didn't have another?
Yeah, I do not have another solution at this point.
I was thinking at the bare minimum, we're not hurting them, you know?
No.
And a lot of the kids that do have good character building at home, yeah, we might not see any change in them, but I feel like it's exposure for kids that don't have character building at home at all.
Yeah,
And if they're the only ones it matters to, I think that's good, you know?
and I think too, like, I have my issues with it, but like, I think like at the end of the day, we're giving them words that they might not, or language that they might not understand now, but like as they get older and mature, like hopefully those things will, oh, I learned how to set a goal when I was in 7th grade, or those kind of things that maybe don't.
Some of the things that I heard from some of the 6th graders in my advisory class as they were trying to set their wigs or whatever is, or even listening to them with their parents at the first parent-teacher conference, they didn't think about the good things that they do or their leadership. And when you start telling them about different things that they're doing, oh, that's leadership. So I think it really helps to build self-esteem when we help them and guide them toward seeing themselves as leaders and being empowered to take control of their lives, because teenagers don't feel in control. But this gives them something to empower them to continue to set goals and aim high. And when we have high expectations, even if we fall short of that, we're going forward, and I think it's really good for kids, so.
Seeing it work in other schools, seeing it how, Yvette's old school. I forget the Prior, maybe, where she started the whole thing before she went on to do this with Franklin and Covey. Where they've been doing it for 20 years. Seeing the difference in the way the culture works there now that it's been 20 years, and then seeing it here, it does take time to get there. But you also see the confidence that the students have speaking up and showing how proud they are of their own work. And it started at kindergarten level. It's district-wide, K-12. And having it start there, and I don't anticipate Brooke giving it up. And if we see that and we want it to that type of leadership to continue for the kids in our building, then I feel we have to be consistent for that type of culture to go through us and through the high school years. And if we're that close-knit of a community, we have to continue building those type of lessons into our kids.
I could do a better job on teacher building. That is not my forte, but that is something I could work on, for sure. And I think we have to be careful not to compare it to the elementary, because we're not elementary teachers, so we don't act the same way that those teachers do. I mean, we just don't. It is different, and we have to just, I think, find a way to do it our way, and not somebody else's way.
Yeah. And it's not supposed to look like elementaries either. Last year Taylor and I went to the symposium, and they're very clear when they broke us out into elementary and secondary. Secondary should not look like elementary at all whatsoever. If you're looking to elementary for ideas and for comparison, you're doing it wrong. It should not look like elementary.
Well, it should grow with them, right?
It should. They should have a whole lot more voice.
I guess it's kind of like what Denton said, we're with them all the time, so I'm expecting, I'm like, okay, we've been doing this for 3 years, and they're not leaders. I don't see a leader in them, a lot of them, and a lot of them just don't, they're not, how do you get them to be interested in it? How do you get them to even be honest with raising their hand about their goal? How do you get them to be, and I just feel like I'm not seeing a whole lot of
I'll say this.
even like,
You
you need to be
see-
proactive, and they're like, oh yeah, I can even bring pencil. Part of that's just middle school, I know,
Right.
but I would like to,
But-
what have you all seen that has changed?
I'll say this, Angie. You see 7th graders for 3 years. We see the group you had last year, and we see the differences from that group, from the year you had them to the year we had them. Now, the current group might be a different story, but even still, the changes between some of those kids from when you had them to when we have them, there is marked change in a lot of them. Is that because now they're 8th graders and they're more mature? Is that because of some of the Leader in Me lessons? Is it the combination of both that we already discussed?
Yeah.
Like, there are changes that happened in that year between there. So, like, there's been leaders step up in a whole lot of ways that I wouldn't have ever expected, just in classroom settings. Now, is it in organizations? No, maybe not. We have limited organizations for them. But in classroom settings where they stand up for each other and they stand up for
I mean,
what's
I know
right
that,
in the classroom,
but I don't know if I don't know.
I
It's
think
hard
right,
for me to see if
Right.
the Leader in Me is making the change, or if it's because our kids are maturing. And I feel like as teachers and adults in this building, we already did a lot of that character building and a lot of that encouragement and a lot of that step up and be a leader without the umbrella of leader in the
I do
meeting.
like having the lessons though, I like having something to focus on. I do think right now it's harder than ever for them to raise their hand and be honest. It's harder than ever for them to be vulnerable. You know, Lily and I have had that conversation about technology and how wonderful it is, but the con is she can never make a mistake. She can never make a mistake. So how can she ever be vulnerable and a leader in the lesson? You know, I mean, that is something that's very
Yeah.
harder than it's ever been for them right now, for them to raise their hand and say something honest that the rest of the group may not like, or may make fun of them later on a TikTok.
Because, I mean, and it's hard to get your group, the leader and me, or your advisory group to feel comfortable with each other.
Well, because again,
I know,
they have
because,
no,
and
it
same
can
thing
end up
here, I
on
mean,
social media
a lot of
later.
us aren't saying stuff because we're like, I don't really wanna say that in a whole group of people.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but it's just, to me, I like to see a result of something, and I don't know if it's because of the leader and me that we're having
Right.
some results, or if it's because middle school kids are animals. They don't know what they're doing, they don't know what they wanna do from day to day. A lot of it matures from 6th grade to 8th grade. And I mean, being a good example to them, which is the leader in me, and, you know, all of that plays together, so. But if we have to do something, I mean, we've already
I
stepped
mean,
in
I
and-
agree, there are days when I feel like, is this even doing anything?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm like, okay, I
I
wanna
think
see
we
some
all feel like
results.
that, yeah. Maybe we need to track some different things.
Well, that's the thing, I mean, what do we track that they can
I
be
don't know.
honest with?
I don't know.
What can we,
Again,
We try
I
something
need to do better at like providing a culture. I need to do better at that. I am not as good at that as
No, I
some
think we
people
all-
naturally are.
we all do.
I know we only have 15 minutes because of the schedule, but 15 minutes is really hard to have this conversation and finish them. And I know that's just the time constraints that we have, but I could see where you could get deeper in conversation if you had, because by the time they get settled and get through the rig and all
Well,
that.
the problem is the rest of the days. 25 minutes is way too long.
Right.
That's the problem, right? Is that because we don't do leader and me every day. We don't have that conversation every day. So then on the rest of the days, it makes it way too long. Yeah.
I know, I could make,
I was gonna say.
I could finally make dumplings
I was
at
just like-
genius hour.
I always feel like it's short, like even when we were doing Freckle, half of them only get 5 to 10 minutes of Freckles just because their computer when they all log on to Freckle at the same time, some of them can't even access the site because everyone's accessing the site at the same time.
All right, well, they're going.